Good evening everyone and welcome to our home learning event. I'm Katrina Reid, Head Teacher here at Bowness Academy. As you'll all be aware, the First Minister announced last week that schools will remain closed for the majority of pupils until at least the middle of February. For Bowness Academy, this means that the current arrangements for learning at home will continue in line with the information that was provided at the start of this term. Learning will continue to take place via Microsoft Teams, with pupils broadly following their own timetable and working with their own class teachers. During this session, staff will talk you through how pupils are accessing their learning remotely and also give you information about how we can support you with this, as we all know this is not an easy job. I'm now going to pass over to Neil Scott, who is Faculty Head for Technologies and one of our digital leaders in school.
Good evening everyone. As Katrina has just said, my name is Neil Scott, Faculty Head of Technologies and one of the digital leads in the school. My role this evening is to lead us through the presentation and introduce you to all the presenters that we've got. First thing we'll look at is the focus for the session. The focus for tonight's session comes from feedback that we received from a questionnaire we sent out to parents and carers recently. From this we found a range of common questions and queries and we felt that these were the best places to start with for this session. So I'm going to talk you through digital learning and teaching and how that's changed over the last few sessions. Mrs. Proven is going to talk to us about how to tackle any IT related issues that you might have. Mrs. Macaulay will talk us through what learning and teaching looks like at the moment. Mr. Robertson is going to help us navigate through Teams, and Mrs. Hill is going to talk us through what recorded and live lessons might look like. Mrs. Miller will be here to give us some top tips about taking care of you and your family's mental health and well-being at the moment. And then Mrs. Reid will take the evening to a close. Ensuring a high-quality learning and teaching experience for all our pupils is one of the key priorities for us at Bowness Academy. Over the last few sessions, staff have been developing their use of digital technologies to enhance learning and teaching. Over the last few sessions, staff at Bowness Academy have been developing their skills in the use of digital technologies to enhance their learning and teaching. We've looked at lots of different online tools to use for enhancing assessment strategies, looking at how we can use softwares to create really in-depth learning and teaching experiences and to ensure that we're giving high quality learning experiences as much as possible. This has been possible because we know that a great number of our pupils come to school with their own device. One thing that we have been looking at is how we can support pupils to understand the difference between using these devices for entertainment versus education. Within the Council, we have seen the beginning of the rollout of the Connected Falkirk initiative. At the moment, this means that every member of staff in the school has their own iPad. Over the coming weeks and months, all of our pupils will also receive their own iPad, and we see this as a huge benefit in driving forward using digital technologies to enhance the learning experience of all of our community. So that gives you a very brief overview of the sorts of things that we've been looking at as a staff over the last few sessions. And certainly, once all of our pupils have received their Connected Falkirk iPads, we're really excited to see the sorts of learning and teaching that's going to happen with these devices. But as you know, that's not what we're here for this evening. This evening, we're looking at how we are using the technology that we've got at the moment to get us through home learning. So without much further ado, I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Proven, our Senior Technician, who's going to talk us through how you can get support if you're having any difficulties getting logged into Teams.
Hi, I'm here to tell you how to get help if you require it. The problems we've been seeing in the school are that pupils are forgetting their password or their username, that they're not able to get onto Teams, that they don't have Teams on their iPad or their laptop, that they're struggling to upload their work, or that their device just isn't suitable for what they're doing. If this seems like a problem that you're having, please get in touch. You can email me at the school or you can phone. If you email me, you can put for the attention of Ruth Proven and I'll get it the days they're time in. That's a Tuesday to a Friday. Hope this helps.
Thanks, Mrs. Proven. Hopefully by now your child has managed to get logged into Teams, but like Mrs. Proven said, if for any reason you can't get logged in, please just contact the school and we'll get that sorted as soon as we can. So, Now that your child has got logged into Teams, we thought it would be a good idea to give you an idea of the types of learning and teaching that's happening across the school. So I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Macaulay, and she's going to tell you all about that.
In this session, we're going to look at how we are supporting your child in continuing their learning and the different activities they'll be engaging in to move their learning forward. So there are different ways in which your child will be learning online. We've sent out some information in January with the kind of different activities and also kind of the different ways in which they can engage. One of those things is for pupils to follow their normal timetable, if that suits them best, on a daily basis, period by period. We sent out a blank timetable, in which case they can make a note of the classes that they've got and when the live online sessions will be. This will help them sort of plan a wee bit on a weekly basis, and they can also write on there as well when assignments are due, that type of thing. But depending on family circumstances, that might always be possible. So children do have the opportunity to try and chunk their learning like they did in last lockdown. We gave some ideas about sort of having maybe a session in the morning for them to focus on their English work, another session for science, maybe on a Tuesday morning they can look at their maths work, and they can kind of work around their timetable a wee bit more flexible, which suits maybe family circumstances. So the kinds of learning that you'll see happening online for your child will be a mixture, will be a blend of digital activities and non-digital activities. We have more and more live lessons taking place, and again teachers will give pupils notice of when those live lessons will be. These live lessons could last from anywhere from sort of 10 minutes to 20 minutes to maybe even 50 minutes. But they're more likely to be kind of shorter than the 50-minute periods. And the live lessons there for a variety of different reasons. It could be to interact with the pupils, to maybe do some kind of quick quizzes online, or just to chat them through some different things. It could be to explain a wee bit of work. It could be to set tasks. It could be to do a worked example with them and then set some tasks. A lots of variety of different things. Some teachers are doing sort of reading, they're reading the children's novel or the class novel to the child, and they're doing a wee bit of interactive work through that as well. You might have a variety of different PowerPoints where there's voiceovers, again to maybe explain things in a wee bit more detail to help the learner. It could be pre-recorded lessons, and a lot of teachers are doing a variety of drop-in sessions throughout the week as well, and that's when the teacher is available at that particular time. So for example, if they get biology on a Monday period 3, the teacher makes themselves available at that particular time to interact with the pupils in the class through Teams to answer any questions that the pupils may have about the work that's been set. In addition, there will be a variety of kind of non-digital activities, probably more similar to what the pupils get in class on a daily basis. And these, again, variety of different tasks. It could be reading, it could be note-taking, it could be research. Perhaps they've got a presentation to do, and perhaps the presentation has to be submitted via the assignments tab. And it could be a PowerPoint they've got to do, it could be a leaflet, it could be a poster, it could be anything like that. There might just be traditional sort of work from a textbook or some examples, or it could be some maths work, it could be problem solving, it could be data handling, it could be a variety of different things. Teachers are using a whole host of resources as well, so there could be links put on Teams to take pupils to things like Kahoot, to Bite Size, to Scholar, for them to complete tasks on that the teachers can then see or to submit through that as well. It could be Microsoft Forms they're using to submit little quizzes on too. So there's a whole host of different things that your child will be engaging in. What we would say is they shouldn't be sitting in front of a tablet 9 to 3 every day, okay? Because not all the tasks are constantly going to be online where they need to use a device of some sort. There should be a whole variety of different things. But we'd also stress that, for pupils to make sure they do check Teams every day, to keep a wee note of when assignments are due. But also the most important thing is to communicate with their class teacher if they're stuck with anything, if they're finding anything difficult, or they're not quite sure what it is to do. The teachers are always on hand to help. Similarly, if they're struggling to maybe complete assignments on time, that's absolutely fine as well. And again, it's just letting the teacher know they maybe need another day or two to complete things.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Macaulay. That's certainly given us a clear idea of the types of learning and teaching that's happening across the school at the moment. We know from feedback from a recent questionnaire that went out that one of the things that the pupils and parents are finding particularly challenging at the moment is knowing where to find all the assignments that their class teachers are assigning to them and how to navigate through Teams to find that. So now seems like a really good time to pass over to Mr. Robertson, who's going to talk us through that process.
Good evening, everyone. We're just going to talk you through tonight a little bit about Microsoft Teams, how to access this and how to use it. So Microsoft Teams is the following icon. Click it and that will take you into its main user interface. Down the left hand side, what you'll see is a series of classes that the pupils will have. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into one of my own faculty classes and have a little look at what that looks like. If I click on S1 Social Subjects A1A, what you'll see is a series of channels, as we call them. Now, we've split these into the 3 topics that pupils will study in social subjects. And what you'll find is other faculties do the same thing. And this is to help your child navigate a little bit better around Teams and put the work on the correct places. One important thing to remember is that pupils click on the bell icon and ask that all new messages in this channel is turned on. That's to ensure they get a notification every time something is uploaded. Pupils are able to comment or ask questions through the post. Okay, and they can type in messages. They're also able to submit work through the media section of that channel or submit any pictures that they have taken around about their work. The most important feature of Microsoft Teams is the assignment tab that all teachers are using. If we go to the More section, this is where we find our assignment tab. If we click on the assignment tab, you'll be given your son or daughter's assignments that they have to complete. Now in this case, this is just an example pupil, therefore you will see that there's lots of things that are not completed, and that's just because we're using an example pupil in this. And what you can see is the due dates, you can see the different assignments, and you can see quite clearly what has to be done. You'll also have a section that is completed, and when your son or daughter starts completing these, you will see these appear in this section. If we click on one of the assignments, that takes us into the actual assignment itself. What that then gives us is it gives us an opportunity to look at what the work is that is set for that pupil. So you'll have clear instructions given as part of that assignment, and you'll also have maybe a document added, as we can see for this example. Sometimes the formatting on these assignments is not always accurate on certain documents, so you can open them, for example, if you're using an Apple product, on Pages, and it does make things a little bit easier. When your son or daughter wants to submit work, we hit the Add Work, and they're able to go in and add any work from where they have saved it onto either their computer or their phone. They can click on the document, and it will upload to the teacher in charge of that team. They then click the Hand In button, and that will tell them that they have successfully handed in their assignment. There is also an assignment tab down the bottom, and this is again a quick way of giving an overview of all the assignments that a pupil has to achieve, not just from one subject. Again, please don't be alarmed at the amount of assignments. All this is showing is assignments for different classes. However, in this case, this made-up pupil has not handed anything in because they've just joined all these teams as a trial to show you what's going on. We also have the calendar function down the bottom as well. This calendar function allows pupils to see any live lessons that they may have, and they can look and check the calendar function daily or the night before, and this will tell them what their calendar might look like.
Thanks for that, Mr. Robertson. Hopefully that's cleared up some of the queries that have come in around how you actually navigate your way around Teams. Certainly that should be very similar to how it was used last time round we were in lockdown, and hopefully your child is quite clear about where to find assignments and how to submit work that is required. Something that we are using more, and hopefully we'll see more of over the coming weeks, is that of live and recorded lessons. Mrs. Hill is here to give us an idea about how to access them, what they look like, and how your child should engage with them.
Hi folks, this is just a short video to talk you through how recorded and live lessons may be used by your child's teacher during this lockdown. You may have noticed that they've been used a bit more during this lockdown, and this is just to make sure that you and your child is aware of how to access these lessons. The first thing I'll talk about is the use of recorded lessons. So this is when your child's teacher will pre-record sort of course content or videos on how to access the work. To access this is fairly straightforward. If it's been posted as an attachment on Teams, they would just go onto their posts in Teams and look for a video, and it normally has a little play triangle sign at the side, and they would just click on that and open it. It may also be shared as a link to an external site like YouTube, and again they would just click on the link and it should open the video for them. They may also find it in the files section, just like they would access many of the materials that they need for their lesson, and again they would be looking for the little play button and it should open on their device. The benefits of using the pre-recorded lessons are that your child can access the lesson at a time that's suitable to them and based on when they have access to devices. It also means that if they are learning new content, they have the ability to pause or rewind the lesson, so for further clarity. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the use of live lessons. Again, you may have noticed that your child has got more opportunities to be involved in live lessons or drop-in sessions during this remote learning period. So this is just to make sure that you and your child is aware of how to access these. There are a couple of different ways to do it. The first one is if you go into the post section of the team page for the subject, whenever the class teacher arranges for a meeting to take place, it will come up as a notification giving the date and the time of when the meeting is going to take place. Now, when it comes time to the meeting, you can access the meeting by clicking on the three dots at the side of this post, view meeting details, and then there will be an option to join the meeting. So the blue button here. Now, when the meeting is first sent out, there will also be an option here to say RSVP. It is not essential that your child does this to attend the meeting, but if they do, then it's giving the teacher an indication of that they are willing to attend it. So that's the first way they can join the meeting. The second way is if they use the calendar function in Teams. So if you look at this bottom banner along the bottom here, you can see that there is an option for calendar. And if I click on that, down the left-hand side, we should see all of the meetings that have been arranged for the week that your child has been invited to. So this is probably an easier way and easier to keep track of when the different lessons are. So to access the meeting, just click on it, and again you'll be faced with the same screen allowing you to join the meeting. So I'm going to join this one here. This will normally come up first of all. So the default setting is that the video and microphone are both off. Okay, to get into the meeting, it will be one of two ways. Either they'll just be let straight into the meeting, or it will come up, someone will let you in soon, depending on the settings of the meeting. So once in, you will see that there's sort of different options down the bottom of what they can use. The first one are the camera and the microphone. So again, at the discretion of the teacher, or whether or not your child wants to, they can turn their camera on, and they can turn their microphone on when they're asking something or being called on to answer. We would normally ask that pupils keep their microphones off throughout the meeting unless they're speaking, just to eliminate any sort of background noise or distractions. The other functions is the speech bubble at the side is the chat function, and this allows you to type in any questions or comments while the meeting is going on, and everyone who is in the meeting can access them and read it. This is quite good if there's any issues with microphones not working on devices. It means that your child can still join the meeting and contribute by writing in the chat box. We also have a little hand here, so if they do want to ask any questions or contribute, they can click on that and that will alert the teacher to say that they would like to participate. To hang up from the meeting, they simply just click the red phone at the right hand side. It should be worth noting that there will be times for these drop-in or live lessons, but your child will be able to access it throughout the duration of the meeting, so they should be able to join as long as the meeting is going on. Some teachers may use this to teach new content and have it like a live lesson where they're actually teaching like they would in a classroom. Other teachers may use it as an opportunity to drop in and ask any questions. So what I would say with both of these is that if you're in doubt or you're not sure how to access it, or you're having any technical issues accessing the meetings or the recorded lessons, please just encourage your child to contact the teacher either on the posts on Teams or via email, just to let them know that they're having issues, and then we can try our best to sort it out from our side.
Thanks for that, Mrs. Hill. We know that live and recorded lessons is something that our parents and carers and pupils want to see more of, so certainly over the next few weeks, that's what we're working towards as a school. We are also very aware that learning in this fashion can be quite challenging, and we have to look after our mental health while we're doing this. So I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Miller now, who's got some top tips for looking after your family's mental health and well-being during this time.
Looking after your family's mental health is really important, especially in times where there is uncertainty and constant news updates about coronavirus. We've put together some top tips about looking after mental health. And remember, it is natural to feel sad or worried, confused or angry when there is lots of worrying news happening and everyone's routine is changing. Your daily routine will likely have changed. That may be because school has closed or you're working from home. Keeping to regular routines and schedules as much as possible and creating new ones that include learning, fun activities and relaxing is really important. Young people need routine to maintain a balance in life, so ensure they have a regular timetable for schoolwork and time to relax in the evenings. Keeping healthy. Make sure you encourage the young people to be as healthy as possible, eating plenty of fruit and veg and drinking plenty of water. Encourage them to get some exercise. There are lots of ways you can do this. The PE lessons are posted on Teams each week, but you might want to try a free online exercise class or home workout. There's lots on offer. You can also exercise outdoors. However, when meeting outdoors, please remember and follow the physical distancing measures and the rules about meeting people outside. Make sure you get enough sleep too. Sleep is really important for our mental and physical health. Be there to listen. Regularly ask how they're doing so they get used to talking about their feelings and know there's always someone to listen if they want it. Know when something is wrong. It can be difficult to know if there is something upsetting a child or young person, but there are lots of ways to spot when something is wrong. Look out for the following: a significant change in behaviour, ongoing difficulty sleeping, withdrawing from social situations, not wanting to do the things they usually like, or potentially neglecting themselves. Remember, everyone feels low, angry or anxious at times, but when these changes last for a long time or are significantly affecting them, it might be time to ask for professional help. Supporting them through difficulties. Pay attention to their emotions and behaviour and try to help them work through difficulties. It's not always easy when faced with challenging behaviour, but try to help the young person understand what they are feeling and why. Stay involved in their life. Show interest in their life and the things important to them. It not only helps them value who they are, but it also makes it easier for you to spot problems and support them. Encourage their interests. Being active or creative, learning new things and being part of a team help connect us with others and are important ways we can all help our mental health. Support and encourage them to explore their interests, whatever they are. Encourage them to stay in touch and talk to people who make them feel better. This could be other family members or friends. If possible, try to get some virtual face-to-face time through apps like FaceTime or WhatsApp. The young people could join the weekly Time to Talk Tuesday on Teams that's organised by Miss O'Neill in Drama, or join their weekly PSE time where they get to see other members of their class as well as their pastoral head. Look after your own mental health. Parenting or caring for a child or young person can be tough. It's important to make sure you look after your own mental well-being, as this will help you support yourself and those you care about. Try to recognise and acknowledge when you're feeling low or overwhelmed. Struggling with something or experiencing your own mental health problems does not make you a bad parent or carer. It's completely normal to be worried, scared or helpless during difficult times, and feeling this way is nothing to be ashamed of. There's plenty of help out there. You should never feel like you have to cope on your own. Ask for support. If you're concerned about your child's mental health, please get in touch. Contact the school or the pastoral head, who will be able to discuss this with you, offer support and guidance, and signpost you in the right direction. Alternatively, you can access a variety of information through the NHS website. For example, Young Minds Parent Helpline offers confidential free advice via phone, email or web chat. Action for Children has lots of tips to help you spot signs of mental health issues in children and advice on the action you can take to help. And Bernardo's has also set up the See, Hear, Respond Support Hub, which is a dedicated service to help children, young people and their families with problems caused by the coronavirus outbreak.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. Some really important messages there, and please everyone do remember, if there's anything that we can do, please just get in touch as you normally would, and we'll do all that we can to support you. So that brings us almost to the end of this evening's event. Hopefully we've given you a clear picture of the types of learning and teaching that's happening, how to access the teams if you get stuck at any point, how to navigate, and what you should expect in a recorded or live lesson. I'm now going to pass back to Mrs. Reid, who's going to close the event for the evening.
We've now come to the end of this session. We appreciate you taking the time out to join us and hope that you found it informative and it's answered some of the questions that you've asked us in our recent survey. If you still have unanswered questions or require any more help, please do get in touch with us via the school office. Thank you once again for joining us, and we do hope to be able to see you all in person in the not too distant future. Good night.